It is the Monday evening, September the 4th, and the new season of Master Duel has started. Unfortunately, I was away for the entire long weekend here in Canada, including Labor Day. Oh, there it is. Starting up in Standard Mode, Season 21 has begun. Last using Tri Brigade in Master 1 last season, but we're not going to be using this for this season. However, the purpose of this video is going to be focused on the duel trial. This was the only thing I could really play when I was away on my phone, and I'm happy to say that even when I came home I played a couple more matches. It was pretty fun. You can see our match history here. 1, 2, 3, 4 losses, mostly due to just like bricked hands where we literally couldn't play anything. And the deck that we used was pretty much just the Black Luster Soldier deck. Super awesome, super cool deck, really fun event in my opinion. And I'm going to look at some of these matches that I played that were pretty good. Now, by the time this video comes out, this event is probably over. It's actually ending in like 10 minutes, I think, from where I'm at right now. But it was a really good event, and I think it's worth going back and looking at how the deck played, because you don't see gameplay like this in the ranked ladder, right? So let's go ahead and take a look at some of these matches. I really like this tryout duel. I think it's probably one of the best events they've had in this game in a long time, because all of the decks actually seemed fairly balanced. I lost to like the Red Eyes deck, I lost to the Blue Eyes deck. I only played the Chaos deck, like the BLS deck. It was my favorite one, but they all seemed pretty good, and they all seemed like they could do stuff. Like no one deck was like super powerful. Yes, the BLS deck could OTK going second, but this trap card here is like super OP for the Red Eyes deck. It can like make you as the BLS player go like -4 because they just take your ritual monster, and you know, having access to this, the Vert, to ditch the Red Eyes fusion so that they're not under the restriction and just go straight up into their boss monsters is so good for the Red Eyes deck. And again, you're not going to see these decks on the ladder because they're so underpowered here. Oh my goodness, just waiting to get evenly matched, eh? But that's not in the event. So yeah, the opponent sets up a pretty decent board here, but we are going second, and we're going to see if we can OTK. Again, super cool to see like all of these cards play, like Summon Skull. This was like, you know, 2002, right? I mean, oh my gosh, man, it's just so cool to see this stuff here again. But because we do have the Diviner pitching the Herald to get level 6, to become level 6, and the Black Dragon, we are going to be able to go into Baron. So this was our power card on our side. The opponent had Vert Anaconda, we've got Baron, and you know, the opponent is going to attempt to use that Red Eyes Fang, and thankfully we had the Baron negate. So what they actually had to do there was use this card early to take my Diviner once they saw that I summoned Black Dragon, or I guess you would take Black Dragon to ensure I don't get the extension off of it. But because they let me synchro, that was their mistake. I don't know if they knew that Baron was in this deck or not. They probably didn't. But now we have total control of the match. Baron alone, you can see how much work it puts in from the negate and the destruction. Now at this point, we are just going to go straight for the damage here. So we've ritual summoned the Black Luster Soldier. This thing has the influence of both the Evening Twilight and the Beginning Night. So we got 2 banishes, rip a card from the opponent's hand, and double attack if we destroy a monster. So we're going to go ahead now and follow up with the White Dragon here. Use the effect to banish the card from the opponent's hand until the end of their end phase, and then just banish 1 monster in the Summon Skull, because we actually want to beat over the Vert and then attack again. So we activate the Envoy of Chaos as well to boost the attack, and then we attack again directly, and you can just see the OTK potential of the Black Luster Soldier Chaos deck. Awesome to see these cards in play again. Alright, in this match, I believe I won the coin toss and I wanted the opponent to go first. We do draw the normal monster, which is kind of funny. These are like the bricks in the deck, but it's actually not the worst if you do draw them. The opponent reveals that they're on the Blue Eyes deck, so this is really cool. It's a combination of like ABC, Obelisk, and Blue Eyes. It's really interesting. So what we have to do here actually is normal summon Beginning Night, because our hand is technically brick, crash it, so that we can use the Black Dragon to banish it, and then use the effect here to add the ritual spell to our hand, because when we activate Gateway of Chaos, which you could argue I should have done this first, because I believe if I crash after I activate this, I get the counter, so that's probably a misplay. But we're going to go ahead and activate this, which allows us to search for the BLS, and now we're going to go ahead and activate the Super Synthesis to pitch the normal monster and the Beginning Night to give us the effect to banish a monster that the opponent controls. Unfortunately, I've already used my battle phase, and I think I got confused here because I'm like, oh, I could attack twice, but I end up banishing the Bee Buster Drake, but they're going to get the search off of the, or the special summon, sorry, off the Sea Crush, which is fine. It's better than the search because it keeps them off the ABC Dragon out of the extra deck, which is a quick effect pop, I believe, and then a quick effect on my turn to special summon all the ABC monsters back. But anyways, we're going to do our normal extension plays and get the 3 counters, but also get the Black Dragon, White Dragon combination going. Go into Hieratic Seal. This is our interruption for the opponent's turn since we can't OTK. And yeah, we're going to search the Ritual Spell. So overall, not necessarily the worst turn. We do have the Ritual Spell, which if this card gets destroyed or outed, we could end up summoning it from graveyard, because this card says you can Ritual Summon any Black Luster Soldier Ritual monster from hand or grave. So as long as it doesn't get banished, we're okay. We can resummon this and we are good to go. The opponent is going to go into Vert here off of the ABC cards. And as soon as they summon the Vert, we're going to bounce it back. And the opponent just doesn't have any extension. So we're able to take that game off the back of the Hieratic Seal. Alright, in this matchup here, again with the Horned Imp in the opening hand, and I think we lost this coin toss and our opponent opted for us to go first. Thankfully though, we do have a Chaos Space, which will allow us to get our Beginning Knight in the graveyard so that we can summon the Black Dragon off of the Chaos Space that we searched, or we searched for Black Dragon off Chaos Space, and then with the Beginning Knight banished, we can search for the Ritual Spell, which, you know, gives us at least some extension. Now, do we actually want to use this right now? Questionable. We probably want to save this for turn 3, so we might just go Seal Pass here. Is it going to be enough? Let's find out. Okay, Chaos Space, of course. We're going to draw one, which makes sense. Oh, and we draw the Black Luster Soldier Legendary Swordsman. That's actually pretty good. So we're going to put the opponent on, okay, let's see if you can OTK. And they definitely can, even without a monster on my side of the field. And off of this right here, you're going to see me do a really weird play. I'm going to be like, yeah, I'm not going to let you get the full rotation off of the dragon cards here. So I'm just going to bounce it back right away and put you on. If you want a Ritual Summon, you go ahead and Ritual Summon once. You don't have the materials to summon the Envoy of the Beginning, so you can't do like tons and tons of damage. But they go into Isolde, which I never used actually in this deck, because the card that you bring, you can't use. So they bring the Legendary Swordsman, and I think we know they have a Ritual Spell in hand, right? So we know 2 of their cards. Now they bring a Beginning Knight. So again, they don't have like any extension, and then I think they messed up here. Like not realizing that they can't use the Legendary Swordsman if they bring it to hand. So they pass over to us on just an Isolde, and I'm like, yeah, this should be GG's. Instead of drawing for turn, we use the effect of Legendary Swordsman to bring a Ritual Spell to hand, and now we are going to pop off here. Okay, Black Dragon, and then Synthesis into Super Soldier, which has like all 4 effects, I believe. And then, yeah, Dugaris. Oh my gosh, this is crazy. This is Dugaris OTK, 6,000 attack twice. The opponent didn't want to give me the satisfaction of doing that much damage, and they surrendered before we were able to attack. But yeah, we had game clearly on board there. So in my opinion, you want to probably go second with this deck where you can. If you end up going first, you don't want to overcommit to a board in case your opponent is also playing the same deck, and this deck excels because when it goes second, it can attack through a monster, then attack again, and you can set up very nice and easy OTK plays. So in this instance, I do end up committing to a board because I'm like, well, I can banish a card from the opponent's hand thanks to the effect of the Evening Twilight Knight, and I also have the Super Soldier Shield that I can set, which will be a negate if they target my Black Luster Soldier. This card is actually not very good, but it is what it is. Sure enough, the opponent is indeed on the same deck, and they're going to be able to cycle through a couple of cards here to get their engine rolling, and we are fearing the summon of that Black Luster Soldier that will attack through our monsters and banish our monsters thanks to the effect of the Beginning and Evening Knights here. Evening Twilight Knight, that is. So sure enough, they are just going off. They use the Envoy of the Beginning, and they end up like with like a Ritual spell and the Ritual monster in hand that they actually can't use because they overcommitted to use this card. And that was totally good for me because now they're just ending on Black Dragon and a set card here. The Evening Twilight Knight is going to return the card to their hand that I banished off of this Black Luster Soldier, and somehow we were able to survive thanks to us being able to use a Super Soldier Shield to negate and destroy the Envoy of the Beginning. This card was back in the day when I played. This was the card. This was the card that everybody played in Chaos Control. Love to see it back in the modern game here, but now that the opponent has passed back the turn to us, turn 3, we are absolutely going to go for the OTK. We just take a second here. Oh, the opponent already knows it's over. All right, this was the last match I played in the event before it closed, and we are going second. The opponent is on Red Eyes, and they're starting off pretty decent here, I guess. They've got some extensions, and they're going to be able to go into Flare Metal Dragon here. and bring back the Red Eyes Black Dragon. So I'm going to get burned for 500 every time I activate a card effect. And we got to worry about a potential face down card. Again, if you've watched the rest of the video so far, the one Red Eyes trap that allows them to equip is like thing that really counters this deck. We're going to start off though with a Diviner here and go for Herald. We're going to take 500. Herald, go ahead and grab the Synthesis. And then we're going to activate Foolish to dump a Twilight Knight. So again, I'm thinking this process through, and the damage doesn't really matter because I'm hoping to OTK this turn. We're going to go ahead and summon the Envoy of the Beginning, and then go ahead and search out the Legendary Swordsman, because when we summoned the Envoy of the Beginning, we banished the Twilight Knight, which allowed us to search for Legendary Swordsman. Then we're going to go ahead and activate DDR and pitch the Super Soldier's Ritual, because we can always activate this from graveyard later if we need to, and we're not going to use that right now. Like, these 3 cards matter more in our hand. And this is going to bring back the Twilight Soldier, which is going to allow us now to go into Baron the Floor, which you can argue here I should have maybe popped cards, and I don't know. Didn't need to take the extra damage here maybe, but it doesn't matter, like I said, because we're going for OTK here. So we're going to go ahead now and Synthesis into the Legendary Swordsman, and this card, whoops, has the influence of both the Beginning and the Evening Knight. So we can banish 2 monsters, banish a card from hand, and attack twice. And this card can also attack twice, right? The OG Black Luster Soldier Envoy of the Beginning. Oh man, I cannot tell you guys how this was like my favorite card back in the day. Because again, it was like it was literally the boss monster of everyone's deck. Whoever saw this first had like a massive advantage. I mean, yes, it could get like Mirror Force and stuff like that, but you know, it's just such a cool card to see back like in modern play. Anyways, after we use the Legendary Swordsman effect to banish the Xyz Red Eyes Flare, we're going to use Baron to pop the back row. We still have our Baron negate, and now we just have game on board because I'm going to rip a card from the opponent's hand too, just for good measure. Then we're going to go Battle Phase, beat into the Red Eyes Black Dragon. Envoy is going to be able to attack again in a row for 3,000. Baron attack for 3,000, and then Legendary Sword finish off the opponent with 3,000 damage. And just like that, you OTK going second all of the boss monsters on board for the Black Luster Soldier deck, and that wraps up and rounds out the Tryout Duel Festival, which in my opinion was the best one yet.